Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well today. Today I am going to be making a fidget heart because Valentine's Day was coming up and I thought this would be a cool design for people and it could be a nice gift for people as well. As you can see, I already have worked out this design myself, but I'm going to be showing you step by step the entire process and all the shapes you're going to need. With that being said, let's get started. Once this all loads in, of course. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to need is we are going to need 2 hearts. I'll make them red, but of course you can make them any color you choose. One of them is going to have to be 11 millimeters tall. And we are going to want to make the size of these 47 in the width and 47 in the length as well. The second heart, we also need to be 47 by 47. However, the height of this star, we need only to be 2. The next shape that we're going to need is a box. We need this to have a height of 30. And we need it to have a width of 60 to be safe. Great. The last shapes that we are going to need is some gears and snaps to place them on. We can find these very simply if you click on the Search Shapes button on the right hand side of the screen and search for snap. You are going to be needing the 2 red pieces. So this snap and socket and a snap fit gear. And you'll need 2 of each. Now, as you can see, we need a place in order to fit our gears into, and that's what this box that is a hole is for. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this box up by 1, and then I'm going to move it into position with this heart. I'll use the arrow keys for a little bit finer tune movement, and that seems like a good placement for it. So I'll select these 2 shapes and I'll group them together. Now, as you can see, I've got a nice groove to put my gears into. Before we can do that though, we have to make sure that these gears and snaps are going to fit. I'm going to select 1 gear and 1 snap, and then I'm going to use the Align tool up here to line them up on the center this way, and then line them up on the center this way. Now I'm just going to group them together so that when I move them both together. I'll lift them up by 1 because remember the snap has to fit on top of this piece right here. Now I can drag it over there and use the arrow keys to fine-tune the positions a little bit. That looks good like that. So now I'll just do the same with this snap and this gear right here. Line them up this way, and then line them up this way. Group them together, raise them up by 1, and now move them into position. It's important that we do this because we need to figure out where the snaps are going to be. If our gears are too close, they're not going to be able to fit together and spin, and if they're too far away, they won't touch, and we'll have the same problem, but in reverse. That seems to be about good. Now I can ungroup these shapes, and I'm going to take the gear out of there because we actually don't want the gear to print. We need it to print separately from the rest of the heart. We'll do the same with this shape over here. We'll ungroup it. We'll take the gear out, and we'll lower it back down onto the ground. Now, the way that this design works is that in order to have a message, what we are going to do is we are going to write our message into the top of this heart right here so that it can be glued onto the top of this and enclose everything. In order to do that, I'll go back to my basic shapes and I'll drag in a line of text. I think that sans text is probably going to be the best for this. I can click here, and I can change my text. If you need a new line, what I recommend doing is there's two ways to do that. You can either drag in a new line of text, or you can simply copy and paste your previous line of text. We'll change that into a hole and we'll lift it up 1 millimeter. Now, like I said, I can copy and paste. I can move that pasted text over here and then edit. Again, copy and paste. Move that part down here. And I need to change the size of my text a little bit so that it all fits together. And then we can take all of our text and that heart and we can group it together. And you can now see when we print the lid of our little fidget gear toy, this message is going to be written on the top. I find that this is more durable than having the text project from the top, as it can get knocked off more easily. Another thing that we can do in order to improve our design, if we would like, is we can add in some stars and other shapes. And just like with the text, we can use them as cutouts to decorate a little bit more. And again, just lower it in 1 millimeter and group it together. So now this design is all ready to print, and I hope you found this video interesting. If you'd like to see a full video on the lesson, please consider giving this a like so that I know that people are interested. Either way, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Bye for now.